Hello YouTube and welcome to an episode of Just Get It There. There is another one that is uploading as we speak. I don't know which one you'll watch first, but this one is going to be talking about the differences between what I like about the Kenworths versus the Freightliner. Freightliner, for the most part, I'm not a big fan of. Haven't been for several years. But there are a few things that I do like, but not much. The transmission, for one, shifts a little bit better in this 23 than the Kenworths do. Kenworths are a little bit shaky. Cause I have driven a 23 Kenworth and I have driven a 23 Freightliner. Now, for the most part, as it is, the mirrors I don't like on Freightliners for the main reason is because they're basically on the door. Why can't Freightliner or anybody mount them on the A-frame of the truck? Change the way you style your truck up and put the mirrors on the frame of the truck, on the A-frame of the truck. They're by far a better mirror to do. Not putting them out on the A-frame is plain stupid. And whoever thought those cameras for mirrors are better, they're not. Because all it takes is one little glitch, and we all know how technology can work, how it can knock out your mirrors, and then you can't drive. Those mirrors are not better. They are having no mirrors is plain suicidal and plain stupid. If a mirror breaks, you can actually go to a truck stop and hopefully they get the mirror. Because some truck stops actually carry some mirrors. Not all of them, but they carry stuff that you can get or get what you can get. Especially if you're at a Love's or a TA, and some Flying J's actually have shops where they could actually possibly get the mirror for you. Or you can call Freightliner, or you can find a local dealership or somewhere where you can actually look into getting a actual replacement mirror for your truck and ordering it and pay for it yourself. If you're an owner operator, if you're a lease operator, or if you're a company driver, you got to deal with breakdown and dealing with the whole entire shop that you have to deal with. Now, with that being said, the Kenworth I do like better because I got better fuel economy in a Kenworth than I do in a Freightliner. Freightliner, I'm averaging about 7.5. Even when and a lot of the loads that I haul are basically heavy, so yeah, I'm not going to get great fuel economy, but I get better fuel economy on that. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Cummins engines get better fuel economy. The Packard engines, okay, compared to the Detroit, which as far as I'm concerned is basically a Mercedes engine. It's not the same as an actual Detroit. Don't even try telling me that it is, because there's no way that Detroit's the same engine. No way. I've driven the Detroit 60 Series, and I like the Detroit 60 Series versus the Detroit that's made today. I don't care for it. And especially now you can't get a Detroit in the Kenworth or a Peterbilt. It's strictly Freightliner or Western Star and all that. Now, back to the differences here. The dashes for I'm not sure. I know this 23 Freightliner has two dashes. One is a center console. The other one is off to the side, which I don't like. I don't think we need two of those digital displays. One is more than enough. Freightliner, Kenworth, and Peterbilt have them one. I've never seen two in a Kenworth. Why you need two in a Freightliner, who knows? But the Kenworth ones and the Peterbilt ones, I buy for a little bit better quality, and you can change and put the gauges where you want them on a digital display. Here you play with it, and it gives you a variety of different gauges you can put on, different gauge packages you can put on there, and they're a lot bigger. Not really fond of that. I'd rather have the gauges where I can actually see them and not have to scroll for them to find them. And for the other part is the room. Freightliner. Compared to Kenworth for the bedding, for a bed, I'd rather have the bed. I want a bigger bed. Freightliner puts a 39 by 80, which is a super long twin. Kenworth, I'm not sure about Peterbilt, but I know Kenworth, the 680s, they're 42 by 80. Much bigger, a little bit bigger bed. That you don't think that little 3 inches will actually make that difference? It does. And not to mention the storage capacity. I can have more in my Kenworth and be more astounded by having things where I want them versus where I don't want them. And underneath the bunk, Freightliner's got dividers in it. Kenworth is straight through. Where the Kenworth, I can actually throw it with things like all the pop that I buy, I can slide that underneath the bunk without carrying it into the truck. Freightliner, not intelligent when you got those dividers in there. And I know I've seen a lot of those dividers are removed because they are removable. But I'm a company driver and I don't want to risk getting yelled at for tampering with their equipment. And this goes for a lot of people. And the nice thing is about Kenworth, if you order them, you can open the windows. Those little, where that window is right there, does not open. It opens with a screen in it. You can't open it to get out of the truck. Same thing with the other side on the Freightliner. You can't open them to get out. There's a fire up there on that hood. That fire goes through this way. You're basically burning to death. This is why the FMCSA needs to take and make that abundant, that these windows have emergency escape hatches. Same goes here. You get into an accident, you can't get out of the truck. You can at least get out the side patch, around in your sleeper berth to climb out. You can't get out the front with the doors. And don't tell me that accidents aren't possible. They are very possible. They do happen. It's a lot easier where you can get out. Granted, it's a long fall to the ground, but you can actually save yourself by getting out that way. It's the one thing, it's the other thing I don't like about Freightliners or any trucks that don't have that. As far as I know, Kenworth and Peterbilt are the only two manufacturers that put them in. And anybody that orders these trucks without them should really get their head examined and get looked at to figure out why they're not, oh, it's going to cost a little bit more. Oh, let's see. What's cheaper, having a driver so they can escape get out of the truck, or paying for the death of a driver because we can't get him out because he can't get out because we're too stupid and too cheap to order him that way. So take a minute and think about that. And I worked for Crete, and Crete said the most important driver the most important person in there is that driver. Guess what? I find that hard to believe, Crete, that you say that they're the most important person. Because you order your Kenworths without that. You order vents in your truck, not windows. I'd rather have windows. That way when it's not really cold, outside, I can open my windows with some fresh air in this damn truck. Get the stench out. It helps airing out the truck, actually helps. We're in this truck a lot. Vents don't help. I'd rather have windows so I could open them and be able to let some fresh air in here, because you get more air movement when you got windows versus vents. Now, those are the things I like about Kenworth. And like I said, there's not a lot about Freightliner I actually care about. Because whoever's designing Freightliner needs to get their head out of the game and actually rethink how they're building them. And take the time out and do it right. Internationals have those big ass windows in a sleeper. You can bust those windows right out and get out that window on an International. So International's a little bit smarter than most carriers or most companies, because you can kick those windows out. It'll take some work, but you can get them out. And let's see what else. And the lighting in these trucks. Freightliner has that lighting in there. Plus there's two underneath. Where my tablet is, as you can see, it's lit up. Now, whether you're Freightliner, Kenworth, or Peterbilt, lighting is better. Need to do better. This lighting is alright, it's not great. And another thing, it's controlled on the other thing too. So I can dim the lights, all that. I don't want to dim my lights. I want them bright so I can see. I don't sleep with my lights on, I sleep with the lights off. I drive with my lights off. I don't need my lights on when I'm driving. But Kenworth and Peterbilt and Freightliner, basically all the manufacturers could do a better job with the lighting in these trucks. And Freightliner with these cabinets, they're not bad. They can do a better job with the cabinets, but they're decent for what they are. And then they got Freightliner's got those cabinets over where, right over the driver's seat, over the passenger seat, where they can actually not have them like that. I don't like the I don't like those cabinets where they close. I like the Kenworth where it's open. You can keep things in that little cubby hole and access them without lifting up that gas piston hinge that's on there. And all these cabinets have them. Don't like them. Not a big fan of them. I prefer to have something that actually, where I could actually just reach in there, grab what I need, and don't have to worry about closing it. Granted, the storage in there is phenomenal. Kenworth used to have deep storage pockets underneath their, over the driver's head and over the passenger side. They got rid of that and they just made it one big thing on the top. But that's all I can think of right now. Sorry about that. We'll leave that in for the blooper to prove that I actually record once and once only. I don't normally, when I do my videos, there's no editing. What you get is what you get from the date, from when I do it. I don't edit my videos. It's a one-shot deal. 90% of the time. Well, actually, it's 100% of the time. Who am I kidding? Because you don't get to see what I mess up at, because I start over again if I have to. But you get to see that I'm actually doing this. I'm actually holding my phone. I don't have a stick to hold my phone. It's held by arm, as you can see. I'm actually holding it. But those are my complaints between Freightliner, Kenworth. I can't complain really too much about Peterbilt, because I've really never driven a Peterbilt or a Western Star. I've driven pretty much everything out there except for Peterbilt and Western Star. Now, there are other trucks that I haven't driven, but they're not made anymore, so I can't really say that. But for the most part, out of most of the vehicles, I've driven pretty much all of them. I actually had a chance to drive a Peterbilt when I worked for Swift, but it had super singles, and I don't like trucks with super singles. It's the biggest waste of money, the biggest scam on the planet. When the weather's changed, I will do an outside tour of this truck, and I will point out more things that it's not really Freightliner. It's the company that thinks that this stuff is great when it's really not. I'm going to point out a few things I don't like and go from there. When I do the outside tour, when the weather gets better and not so rainy and so chilly outside, I prefer to be in warmer weather to do an outside tour. And plus, right now the rain is washing a lot of the salt off. truck needed a bath, and it's getting one right now because I've been in rain for the past several days. But for the most part, the rain has been, I've been driving in it. One of the very few times where I'm actually sitting around it when it's raining outside. But that is it for now. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Like I said, subscribe, get the numbers up, but subscribe. Come on, it's free. It doesn't cost you nothing. Subscribe, like, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Until the next one, bye for now.